Give us your thoughts about the proposal, which it looks very big, very bold, and we've been talking about this idea of whether this is really an opening bid and where eventually these components end up once it's passed.
Well, I'm very excited what I see, and I'm looking forward to hearing from the president-elect very shortly. I think that it is big and bold, and I think it's something that we're looking to do. It is exactly what we in the Democratic side and Speaker Nancy Pelosi were talking about in a bill that we passed in the House called the HEROES Bill. It takes care and deals with issues that are very, very important at this critical time of our economy. And as well as, the desperation that many Americans are currently facing. For example, the first thing that you want to make sure that we get control of the pandemic. And you need money to do that. And so it has, $20 billion from what I understand to create a national vaccine distribution to make sure that we get that out there. And one of the things that we talked about on our side that we thought was tremendously important was aid to city and state, something that the Trump administration and the Republicans in the Senate opposed. I think we can pass that now and get the, and I think something is proposed around $350 billion, get that into the revenue stream of our states and municipalities. So I'm very, and last I should also mention, we have the controversy at the end of the Trump administration where we all were talking about $2,000 stimulus checks. We could not get, we passed it in the House again, and we could not get Mitch McConnell to pass it in the Senate. We now, with the help of this president and with the change in the Senate with Chuck Schumer becoming the majority leader on January 20th or so, we can get that additional $1,400 into the hands of those that really need it, that will help our economy overall and help those that have been suffering, along with a number of other things.
So the criticism over these $2,000 checks is a lot of them will still go to the households essentially that enjoy six-figure incomes, right? To what end does this meet a need? Does it really kind of create productivity within the economy? Because I get the feeling that this is going to be one part of the proposal that's going to come up against hurdles.
Well, we see it's for individuals who make less than $75,000 a year. And we saw it did not have a problem when we did the $1,200 checks in the first stimulus package. In fact, we show how it stimulated the economy and, in fact, helped some folks continue to work, go back to work because money was getting put into the economy so some jobs could open back up. So I think that, and as we increase the number of vaccines and hopefully begin to get back to some sort of regular order in May and June, this will tide folks over until that time. Jobs will begin to come back, and families can try to sustain themselves. I mean, it has been a long time. It'll be a year in March, and we soon will be in February that people have been suffering. So this is long overdue. This is we are living in a critical time, and this is it is critical to have this kind of response.
So, Congressman Meeks, when you see the road ahead, and we know that there are some aspects of this that can be passed with a simple majority, which you would think pretty much, except for maybe some more conservative or centrist Democrats who are worried about the cost might not all be on board within the Senate. But then there's parts that have a higher threshold to get passed. Where do you see, if any, room for compromise here? If you can't have everything, if this is an opening bid, where do you think some ground could come together to meet not just a Republican or Democrat debate, but a debate between two sides, one side who says, you can't overdo it, spend all you can, another side that says, well, but let's don't spend money where it's not really needed?
Well, remember, as an example would be the $2,000 stimulus checks. That, on the House side, that was a bipartisan bill. Democrats and Republicans voted for that. The only reason it did not pass previously was Mitch McConnell decided not to put it on the floor in the Senate. Had he done that, my prediction is it would have passed then. It would be hard for, because whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, and no matter what state you're from, people are hurting as a result of this pandemic. So the reason why Mitch McConnell did not put it on the floor was because he knew that it would pass. Chuck Schumer would put it on the floor in the Senate, and we can virtually pass the same bill that we just passed in a bipartisan manner in the House in the 116th Congress. So I see that, that being able to get done. Now, of course, there's negotiating. We're talking about round numbers, and we're talking about big things, and there's you get into it, and everybody has what their priorities are, and so there's always room for conversation in that regard. But when you talk about trying to make sure that we hold up our economy and we help individuals who are desperate for help. Right now in the United States, there's so many people that just are looking for food. They
Sure.
don't have enough money to purchase
Right.
food.
Well,
So we've got to fix that.
absolutely, Congressman Meeks. And I guess my question was about making sure those people get the bulk of the help, and maybe people don't need it as much, don't get it. But I want to just broaden this out a bit, because I know you're also on the Committee on Foreign Affairs, the Committee on Financial Services. Once the stimulus package gets passed, for you, what do you think is the next big area of legislation that this new Congress and the new president need to address?
Well, there's two things. I mean, domestically, clearly, we still got to address infrastructure. And I think that's something that can bring us together. We've got old infrastructure that we need to put it to, we need to update. That helps create jobs also. And I think that the president will look to do that. As chair of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, I think that we've got to get back to the table and let our allies know that we're back. It's no longer America alone or America first in the way that the Trump administration. It's America working with our allies in a multilateral way, getting back into many of the multilateral organizations like the WHO, like the Iran agreement, like the Paris climate agreement. So we've got to get back into, and I think that the Biden administration, along with those of us in Congress, and I know me as chair of the committee, will be working to talk to our allies and treat them like allies again. That's it, and that means that we have to make sure that we also have a State Department that is replenished and whose morale is changed from what it currently is. So that's going to be first work to get done. We got to rejoin our colleagues.